If books could speak, today let's discuss deep work.
Dear expert in deep work, I always have a question. Why is it that some people become more valuable the more they work, while others never seem to make any progress?
Because most people easily fall into the trap of shallow work, which makes them look busy. But in reality, the value it brings is very low.
A superficial job? It's the first time I've heard of this concept.
Those are tasks that seem important at first glance, but their actual value is almost zero. For example, answering emails all day, attending meetings, or handling trivial paperwork.
But don't those jobs also require hard work?
That's right. But those very tasks are a clear manifestation of superficiality. They are often simple, repetitive, and easily interrupted, turning us into employees who are always busy like firefighters. But in reality, they do not create any real value.
So that's how it is. But to become more valuable, what kind of work model should we pursue?
That is deep work, activities that require high-level thinking, complete concentration, without any distractions.
It sounds a bit abstract. Can you give an example?
Writing a report analyzing the company's strategic changes is deep work. On the contrary, replying to an email just to say, "Received, thank you," is a superficial task. For example, solving a complex technical issue is considered deep work, while attending a fruitless meeting is seen as shallow work.
Oh my God, if that's the case, maybe 80% of my time each day is spent on things that don't help my career at all.
That's right, most working people are in this situation.
But the boss requires an immediate response to the email, and I can't refuse when a colleague invites me to a meeting. How can we avoid that?
This is the paradox of the modern workplace. Surface-level work makes you appear dedicated, but the core that determines your advancement and talent is the ability to create profound and long-lasting products. That's why some people work for 10 years but remain stagnant, while others keep advancing.
Have these trivial jobs really taken something important from us?
They steal the most precious thing: time and the ability to think deeply about what truly creates greater value. The purity of focus.
The purity of concentration, what new concept is this?
Every time you get interrupted, like just glancing at your phone, your brain pays a heavy price.
What price? I feel quite good at handling multiple tasks at the same time.
That's just an illusion that your brain is creating for you.
Why do you say that?
Scientific studies have shown that even if you just glance at your phone, your cognitive ability can decrease by up to 25%.
Is it that serious?
Not only that, but it also takes 23 minutes for the brain to return to a state of deep focus.
Wait, do you mean I just read one message, but my brain takes 23 minutes to recover?
That's right. That's really scary, isn't it?
No wonder. I always feel like a day goes by and I seem to accomplish nothing.
Most office workers spend the whole day struggling in the chaos of fragmented attention and cannot enter a true state of deep work.
So why are there people who can become icons in their professions? What secret do successful people like Bill Gates possess?
They place great emphasis on managing focus.
Specifically, how do they do it?
Bill Gates dedicates 1 week each year to what he calls Think Week, completely isolating himself from the outside world. Carl Jung even built a writing tower to focus on his creative work.
Deep thinking without interruption. Is that a common trait among all successful people?
That's right. All brilliant minds maintain the habit of protecting absolute focus.
And for ordinary people like us, how can we have the conditions to organize a week dedicated to thinking? In a world full of distractions like today, how can we achieve that?
There are 4 golden rules for deep work, and you can start today.
Just say the first principle right away.
First, establish a focus ritual. Choose a fixed time and place each day to enter a deep thinking state.
What does protocol mean here? Is it just a rule that we have to work at certain hours?
Not only do I have time, for example, every day at 9 a.m., I will sit in a quiet corner, turn off all notifications, drink a cup of coffee, and focus on work for 90 minutes.
What is the purpose of this ritual?
Just like athletes often perform a series of fixed movements before a match, it helps reduce the brain's resistance during warm-up, making it easier for you to enter a deeper state of thinking.
It sounds difficult to maintain in the long run, doesn't it? So, what is the second principle? Don't say it's just about being more diligent anonymous. That's boring.
On the contrary, that's correct. The second principle is to learn how to accept boredom.
Accepting boredom? What do you mean?
Actively train your mind to adapt to a state without external stimuli. The greatest enemy of concentration today is the fear of boredom syndrome.
Hearing this is really heartbreaking. I have reached the point where I have to scroll through my phone while waiting for the elevator, watch videos, even in the bathroom, unable to stand even 5 minutes of free time.
This is the core issue.
Does this really harm the brain?
That's right. You should consciously train your focus muscle. For example, when standing in line, don't use your phone. When walking, limit listening to music. Let the brain relearn how to think deeply instead of relying on external factors. You can even practice productive meditation.
What is production meditation? Is this a new concept? Isn't meditation supposed to clear the mind?
Production meditation means walking while thinking about work issues, not relying on external inputs, but completely depending on processing from within the brain.
What benefit does that have?
This is a great method to practice deep thinking. Many great ideas are born while walking.
Einstein also liked to walk and think, right?
That's right. Many great scientists and thinkers have similar habits.
All right, it sounds difficult, but it makes a lot of sense. What are the other two secrets? Hope it's not harder.
The third secret is to master digital tools, not letting social media and apps control your time and attention.
How can we distinguish which tools to use and which ones not to use?
Ask yourself, does this tool make me stronger or just waste my life?
But this is really hard. I can't work without Messenger, and my life is inseparable from TikTok. How could I not use them?
It's not about not using them, but about becoming the master, not their slave.
How can I do that?
You can set a specific time for using social media, for example, only 15 minutes after lunch and before finishing work each day, focusing on checking notifications instead of being controlled by them.
What's the final secret? It sounds like three heads are already quite difficult.
The fourth rule is to eliminate meaningless work. Be brave enough to say no to activities that seem busy, but do not bring any value.
This seems unrealistic, doesn't it? Because I can't refuse the task assigned by the boss. That would be like making things difficult for myself.
The way of communication is very important.
Do you have any suggestions for how I should communicate this? For example, to better complete an important project, could I request to handle the daily emails at 4 p.m.? Would the boss agree?
Most bosses care more about results than whether you are online 24 hours a day. Just prove that deep work yields better results, and they will usually support you. Although this theory seems too idealistic, in practical work, we find it difficult to fully implement it that way. There's no need to pursue perfection. Even if you can only achieve 1 hour of deep work each day, it will still help you outperform 90% of your colleagues.
Can this really be that effective?
It's like compound interest. Accumulating over time will make a big difference. Maybe I can start with small things.
Can you give me a super simple introductory method?
Try the 5-minute deep work challenge. Specifically, every morning, before checking your phone, focus on your work for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, but you must be absolutely focused without any distractions. Just 5 minutes. Anyone can do it. Many people will notice after trying. Once you start, time will naturally be extended. The hardest phase is the beginning, but as long as you persist and get through it, it will become a habit.
However, I still wonder, what is the core formula of deep work? Can it be summarized in the simplest way?
The result of deep work equals time multiplied by focus. It sounds simple, but 1 hour of complete focus is worth much more than 8 hours of half-hearted work. In this era of attention scarcity, the truly scarce resource is not time, but high-quality focus.
I suddenly understood why some people work for 10 years but remain stagnant, while others advance and get raises quickly.
Deep work is the secret key to success in the future workplace.
Why the future?
Because in the upcoming society, simple, repetitive jobs will be replaced by artificial intelligence. But the ability to think deeply and creatively will become more important than ever. Therefore, mastering deep work skills is an essential preparation for the AI era. When you master deep work skills, you also seize the competitive advantage of the future.
If you could summarize the ultimate wisdom of deep work in one sentence, what would you say?
In this age full of distractions, those who can maintain deep focus for extended periods will possess a competitive advantage akin to a superpower. This not only determines work performance, but also shapes the level of success in your career and life.
It is indeed a book that truly touches the pain points of office workers. Thank you to the author for the inspiring share today. From now on, I will start the 5-minute challenge with the goal of giving up the habit of shallow work and reshaping my career path.
Wishing you success. By rejecting superficiality and embracing depth, everyone can find their own path to meaningful work.